All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee is for Closers. This is Matt and James.
James, how we going, guys?
Yeah. So today what we're going to talk about, everybody, is the state of play of Sales Snipers, what we've been doing, what we're doing with the podcast, what we're doing with our content, what you guys can expect to see from us in the future, and how we're going to slowly but surely take over the world, take down the likes of Grant Cardone, Dan Locke, and everybody else on the planet, as far as I'm concerned.
And all the fish that come with that.
All the fish.
If you listen to this podcast, you will make your first million within 3 years. I'm going to repeat that. You will make $1 million within 3 years of the first episode you listen to. We don't want pikers. We're not here to save the manatees. We're here to make podcasts. You really want this. You listen and review.
Put that coffee down.
I mean, I would love to see Cardone sell fish. For those of you who don't know, you really need to go onto YouTube and you need to search Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort. You need to watch that entire exchange because it's pure gold. I say this all the time. I don't like how Grant Cardone sells, but I would love to have his money. So clearly he does something properly. He does something very well. I just don't know what it is yet.
He builds a real good brand for a very specific audience. Say specific audience.
Specific. Yeah, I think it's cool. I'd definitely like to meet him. I don't really think he's all that good at sales, but I think he's obviously incredible at getting people to give him money, which is good at sales. So what the fuck do I know? But yeah, so with the state of play of Sales Cyprus, obviously we do this every now and then where we kind of talk about the business, give everyone a peer behind the door, talk about a sales agency is, what commission-only work is like, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, and hopefully that can provide some value for not only business owners, but also salespeople who are looking to kind of do this stuff more long-term and just have a clue, or people who want to work for us or with us, give you guys an idea of what we've been doing. So we signed up a bunch of clients. So one of the things that I think we've realized is that we need more clients than we can handle in the commission-only space, because people's marketing is just, it goes up and down.
We need more clients.
We need more clients than what we can sort of handle, which is not a problem because we can pull the trigger on getting more clients at any stage. I can get any amount of clients at any time, pretty much. It sort of seems to see like.
Quite a few in the pipeline, a few that are on hold, waiting, a few that we can reach out to that want our services that we've said not now to.
Yeah, exactly. So the key is like, because what we've realized is kind of 30% of businesses will have lead struggles at any one time. Mm-hmm. And so we need someone to have like 3 accounts, because one of those 3 really, to be full, you need 2 accounts. I just shot a YouTube video an hour ago on how you can consistently make 50 grand a month as a commission only rep, which is for sure possible. And one of the things was having 2 accounts. Step number 1 actually was having 2 accounts, having that kind of redundancy in place to ensure that if an ad account goes down, you're safe. Because one of the big things about commission only for me was I don't want to have somebody else's ability to get leads affect my ability to make money. So I wanted to have follow up in place. I wanted to have farming, just do everything I could to ensure that I always had a full pipeline, because ads can go down for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks at a time. We were once working for a company, great company. I'm sure you won't mind, Tristan Bond from Practice Accelerator. We were doing their sales for a while. They had their ad account go down for like 6 weeks. And Facebook wouldn't even respond to them. And these guys were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on ads. And so it even goes to show like the big boys can get shut down too. I mean, they weren't even doing anything wrong. It was just because they do so many ads, they hit like a complaint threshold. That's about it. And you just can't see that shit coming. So
yeah, because people complain about things all the time. If they don't like you, they'll hit the complaint button, report it, because they know it'll affect you greatly on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, we know we're just having a conversation of a guy that I know that hates me on a personal level. No, I've never met him.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were referring to me.
Yeah,
he's the same, right here.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, so you're the enemy in somebody's story.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
what I always say, and most of the time you don't even know who that person is. So this guy who we're
sometimes you definitely do.
Yeah, sometimes you know. I don't mind being the enemy in someone's story. I think it's funny, especially if I don't know them. So if I don't know them, like what? Like how the hell am I supposed to? Why would I care? But anyway, so like that's redundancy is so important. So we've just kind of realized, okay, we need to have all of our guys have 3 accounts if they're going to be full. We need all of our guys producing at least 10 to 20,000 worth of commissions for them a month. So we really need to keep everyone super happy. So we really need those clients to be able to produce probably close to $500,000 in sales every month. Contract value. That's kind of like where we need clients to have like our A-grade clients. And so that redundancy becomes super important. I think that's just one thing that we've learned. So we've been saying yes to a lot more stuff, and it's probably frustrating you because I'm saying yes to a lot of shit.
Definitely frustrating. You're increasing my work hours, that's for sure.
Yeah. You just need to hire somebody. If you're out there, again, hire James go to james@yoursalesniper.com.
No, don't hire me. I'm full, but I'll hire you.
Exactly. What are we going to pay? It's something around like the 70 to 80 grand a year mark for someone to organize us. Help us, please. Please help us.
Just to integrate, keep us on track.
Yeah. So we found that, and that was a real eye opener for us because it was just we have 3 avenues of income, or 3 to 4 avenues of income. So again, that redundancy is built in, so we're not reliant on any one stream. But I think we had like 3 or 4 of our main accounts, their ads went down all at the same time.
Yeah,
so
at one stage,
dropped 50 grand a month in revenue.
Yeah, at one stage. No, that was quite early on where 50K a month in revenue was a big part of our income, right? Not as effective anymore. Well, not as detrimental at the moment.
It's still a lot of money.
But a lot of money, yeah.
It's not going to cause us to lose any sleep.
I wouldn't, maybe a little. I wouldn't be happy about it, let's put it that way. But it's something avoided if possible. And more importantly, that 50K in revenue lost was more significant to the sales guys that were on multiples of those accounts. You know what I mean? And that's something you really have to consider if you're a salesperson is, as Matt's saying, you need more than one account to safeguard yourself. Like, what do you do if you're not up to date in your bills and you're banking on your commission checks and they stop coming because you hit a form slump or because they can't get you leads? And then it takes you a little bit to find a new job, get the ball, get rolling and get consistent with that. Can be very detrimental in the salesperson's personal life.
Yeah, mindset, everything, right? Those slumps are a real thing. I actually saw a really good video by Cole Gordon today. Those of you who don't know who Cole Gordon is, reach out to him on Facebook. He's got like 7-figure selling academy, I think.
We'll also put the podcast description in the podcast link to the notes.
Yeah, the guy's a savage. I did a group training for all of his private clients today on follow-up. Because what I've just found is a lot of salespeople, and it's funny, this has come up like 10 times in the last 2 weeks ever since I first said it. And I was like, who here has ever paid for their own leads? And it's like, not many people, man. Not many people. Not many salespeople ever paid for their own leads. And I was like, yeah, and I can tell. You know why? Because you don't fucking get after it. Marco is like such a rarity where he's never paid for his own leads, but he treats every lead like he's paid for it. And that's where the dude makes so much cash. The dude's on salary. And I hope he doesn't listen to this, but we could fucking barely afford to have him on if he comes on the amount of cash. Jesus, we'd have to pay him $500,000 a year. I mean, we paid Will $11,000 last week. Comps. So good on you, Will. Shout out to Will. Savagery. He's been leading the way, crushing it for Serhnant. For those of you who don't know, I sell for my good personal friend Ryan Serhnant.
Yeah, I think that.
I've mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah, that horse is just about flogged by now.
No, it's not. It's not because we're crushing it.
Yeah, I think
the guy who makes $100 million a year needs an extra $100,000 a week.
Exactly right. So, I think the guys we put 2 new guys on the account this week, and
they got 2 sales each.
Yeah, paid in fulls as well, I believe. Maybe 3 out of the 4 were paid in fulls.
10 Garundo.
Which is pretty good.
Well, they're all paid in fulls, but like it's like a deposit to pay in full because the only option for that account is pay in full. So there you go. It definitely makes it more difficult. But it just shows you that you can get people to get there if you have to get there. Like on that account, for example, it's a great account. It's an awesome service. For those of you who don't know, Ryan Serhnant, #1 real estate agent in the world, possibly. He's definitely the biggest real estate brand in the world, does about $3 billion a year worth of real estate sales. And that's only in the US, so that's awesome. I think Frederick Eklund will be up there as well because he's got a bunch of other stuff. But he's got 2 best-selling books. He's an awesome dude, total savage, makes like $100 million a year in commissions. Yeah, so we do his sales for him, and it's interesting, right? So with that, they have 2 courses: one 10,000, one's 18,000. We can't officially sell the 18,000 yet, so we're just selling the 10,000, and it has to be paid in full. Nobody speaks to Ryan until they paid 10,000 in cash, right? So it's super interesting because if we were to offer a payment plan, we'd probably get a few more people over the line, I would say, and we're trying to bring something in like that, but still you have to have paid 10K cash before you talk to Ryan. So we're having to structure it so that makes sense for everybody. But it's crazy how resourceful the salespeople are becoming, putting them into funding, getting them on credit cards. And it's a good product and the guys need it. So like, I'm all for getting it on. Like Marco, different account, but Marco today texted me. He goes, hey, I'm just on a website helping this guy apply for a credit card because you can get instantaneous approval with Capital One in Australia. So he had this guy apply for a credit card, get approved. He got the credit card numbers, right? Because it has like a 5K limit. And so got the credit card numbers to get the credit cards in the mail. As soon as it gets activated, he can charge the account. That is a different level of fucking savagery, which is awesome. But all the guys in the Serhnant account, they're just getting paid in fulls. And it's really funny when you don't give them an option to do anything else, people just figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah, which is why we don't do drop sells.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Which I've done content on before. And then somebody else did very similar content the other day. You know who you are.
almost like it
was almost identical. It was strange.
Yeah, the only differences is what was translated.
Yeah.
It's like the Google Translate happened to not speak perfect English to translate it.
No, I don't care.
Oui.
Not the first or last time it'll happen, I'm sure. But yeah, so it's just super interesting. I think I might have mentioned this before when we had an account where the business owner was like, hey, we're closing at like 70%, which is fucking great. He's like, there's 30% of people who could be buying. I was like, okay. He's like, so we're bringing a drop sell of $1,000, and then all of a sudden we got like $10,000 sales. And I was like, no, it's gone.
Not $10,000 sales.
It was
$1,000 sales.
The guy was like, they just weren't right for the big one. I was like, wrong. You're a pussy.
Yeah.
It was easier to sell the little one. So for those of you who want to know, if you don't speak another language, this is when you do a drop sell, you have to have a separate booking link and then book them into the drop sell to get the salespeople to not drop sell. That's essentially how you do it.
Or
just don't have
you only sell the drop sell. If you fail to sell that person, pass them on to another sales rep, and that person then recalls them after a week and say, hey, we've just come up with this new product now. Would you like to join it? It's cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. Which isn't a bad way to do it. There's no good way to drop sell, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because if you sold someone correctly on a product, they're pretty excited about it. So if they just can't afford it, unfortunately, like this is something we forget. You can't make people have the money, and not everyone's going to be cool with OPM, which is other people's money. So I was talking about this the other day. I was like, man, you don't need the money to do something. Credit card, Amex has got your money. Visa's got your money. MasterCard's got your money. Other people have this money. There's plenty of money going out there in the world. You just have to go out there and get after it. The first coaching program I did, man, I was in so much debt. I was 90K in debt. 90 in debt at 18% interest on a fucking overdraft compounded monthly. Do you know how shit that is? Do you know how stupid I was to agree to that?
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, though, right?
Yeah. And I did a 6.5K coaching course on credit card. I just got after it. And then I just said, you know what? This is either going to work or I'm going to be an unmitigated disaster. But either way, what's another $6,500 on top of 90K of enormous debt that I can never pay off?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you claim bankruptcy, how much it is, right?
Exactly. Might as well be 96. Who cares?
Exactly.
That was exactly my thought process.
If I was in that position, I'd be going and living it up for a week, then declaring and fucking at least have fun with it.
The Michael Scott from The Office. I declare bankruptcy. I've declared bankruptcy. That's not how that works.
Anyway, state of play. Back to that. So we've got clients coming on.
My rants are incredible.
We're building systems very effectively for other companies to the point where they are within a month.
We doubled someone's business in 6 weeks. I don't want to say it was all us, but it was a lot of us. considering we revamped the entire sales process, the sales team trained them all. They went from 100, they increased by 66%. That was the exact stat. It was from like 137,000 cash collected to 285 or something like that.
And they'll break 300 this month. So that's a win.
If old mate can get off his fucking ass and do as I tell him. Anyway.
Don't elaborate.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. He'll crush it. He's good. He's a fucking phenomenal salesperson. But yeah, so that's what we're doing from the system side of things. Like that's called the Sales Sniper System, SSS.
We'll find a cooler name. If you got a suggestion, send it through.
I mean, we've got a couple of names in there that are like the target acquisition system. We got that one.
Which is an aspect of it. We just haven't come up with a cool name for the entire thing, which we will. It's going to be on my to-do list. Jen, if you're listening, please take a note and put that in my calendar next week. Thanks.
Yeah. Tip for young players, get a VA that just audits everything you do. And then you can just say, hey, Jen, can you do this for me? She goes, okay. It's awesome. She's so good. We couldn't run the business without her.
Absolutely not. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah. Well, I've got 5. So it's funny, right? Usually we've traditionally been in like the coaching space, coaching consulting space in terms of who we help, but got a few other companies. So had a large pet resort company reach out to me that wants us to redo their front end. We had a house and land package company that wants us to do. They do about 50 homes a month at about $300,000 to $500,000 a home, which is cool. It's kind of made me jealous, not jealous, but it's made me think like we need to get in that space because the comms are anywhere from $6,000 to $15,000 a sale, and it's an easy sale, man. Easy sale.
Real estate's on average like 0.8 to 1.82 if you're really good.
Yeah, but it's not even real estate sales. It's selling the house and land.
Yeah,
so
gotcha.
Like it's because you have to be a licensed real estate agent, right, to sell real estate. In the States, man, real estate agents make 6%.
Yeah, right. I was speaking to my real estate agent.
Yeah, it's 1.8. If you're a good agent, you can get up to 2% in Australia.
Well, he said
they don't have to do anywhere near as much, so they barely deserve 2% as far as I'm concerned.
He said typically you can get above 2% if you're selling cheaper properties.
Yeah,
because they need to offer a high commission to have someone warrant come in and sell a $300,000, $400,000 property as opposed to the average median Sydney price of $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. It actually brings us to a good point. My last YouTube/Facebook video went off. Everyone seemed to love it. It was why you are not worth 20% commissions, but
you're pointing at me or the audience?
We are the audience, but we are, we are. But I'll tell you why in the video. It's not like an arrogance thing. It's like if you're a commission only closer right now, and you're commanding 20%, more power to you. It might not be the best move for you long term. All right. Also, if you're wondering what this is, my daughter gave it to me, so I have to wear it. But it's super cute.
It's cute.
Yeah. So she rolled it up and said, "Daddy, wear, Daddy, wear." And I was like, okay. So yeah, so 20% comms. Watch the video, but I basically just show them there's like short-term payoff, long-term payoff. And so unless you're providing real insight that's going to allow that business to grow moving forward, it's really difficult to command that kind of return long-term because of the amount of expense that has to be done to get that person to you. So if all you're doing is having the conversation and you want 20%, like as far as I'm concerned, fuck you. Because especially if it's a high ticket, on like a low ticket where it's like super high volume and hard to sell, maybe it's a $3,000 sale and you want 20% because you have to dredge through loads of shit to get it. They're giving you 10 calls a day of only which 4 are qualified. Then that's one conversation. But again, 1/5 or 20% of the total value of that client just to have the conversation, it's a hard pill to swallow. And I find a lot of the time the business owner swallows it and then it goes poorly. And if you're going to command that, you better close really, really well, or close pretty well and provide them with a lot of insight that allows them to get more sales moving forward and kind of allows them to build the business and scale it out. Which is why I explained in the video. That's why we win every pitch, because it's always me against recruiters and individual closers. And I'm always the most expensive because I'm the only one. Well, the recruiters have a one-time fee, usually between $8,000 and $15,000, but we have like a $5,000 fee, and then we charge higher comms. But I provide loads of insight. So I'm usually only a little bit more expensive than the closers, and I'm less expensive in the upfront than the recruiters, but you get way more than if you got both.
Or we realize that you have a much larger problem and sell you into a much larger solution.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. But generally speaking, the guys who we do sales for them, we do a lot of that stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do all of it, but it benefits us to do a lot of it. So
yeah, it only quantifies us with having much more long-term consistency and better lead quality.
And so one other thing we've been discussing as well is, should I learn to pitch from stage?
I was speaking about that today, actually. I think yes, just not right this moment. I'm sure you could do it, just not do it at the level of someone like Eli.
No, that guy's a fucking savage. He did $12.5 million in sales in 30 minutes. Savage.
I'd love to take 20% on that, right?
he probably got 5 or 6% of that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he would have made 6 figures on the day. 100%. Mm-hmm. That's how Eli works, man. Eli just doesn't do anything for 6 months and then does one thing and makes $200K. That's how he works.
Sounds like a good deal to me, right?
Yeah, shout out to Eli. He's going to be on the podcast next week. So I think maybe the next one you guys listen to after this one will be Eli, but do not quote me on that because I don't control how these come out. But YouTube channel is going well as well. I'm loving the YouTube channel, man. The YouTube channel really gives you an opportunity to be creative. I think everyone should start one. Well, and you get to buy a kit like this shit. Check this out. This is a Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah, cool.
Right? I don't even know what to do with it.
You press it. You DJ with it by the looks of it.
Nah, so it's I've got this Atom Mini Pro 2, which I can't show because it's hooked up to this camera right now, which means I can have multiple cameras and I can have the audio coming out of it too. But basically, that allows me to stream from a camera like this because I couldn't do that with any other setup. Because you can't hook a camera into a computer. It doesn't work. You need a video interface. And then the Rodecaster becomes an audio interface for all the different audios. So when we get our studio, we can have 4 people in the studio
hooked into one thing. Yeah,
independently control all their audio as well.
That's going to be fun. Well,
yeah. And then all these buttons, those square buttons, they all light up in different colors and you assign different sound effects to it. So if I want to have the intro, I just go intro. I just press that button and it rolls the intro into the audio. So it's all done live. And that means we can do live podcasts with the intros and we can do all that kind of stuff. So that's why I've got it. You can mute people. You can adjust the gain levels. You can do all kind of stuff. Plus you can record direct to the advice. So we can just take that and we can go on the road. We can do podcasts with that and then just upload that straight to the computer. It's all done, polished, good to go.
Cool. And then we can have guests in the studio itself. Let's talk about that as a future project.
Yeah. So we're going to open a studio. We're going to get a studio and then I'm going to kit it out to where Joe Rogan is going to be jealous of it. And then have it as an office and then also rent it out, I think. It's like a content space.
Yeah.
Have multiple cameras, all the setup. People can just come and have a multicam podcast. We charge them $150 an hour. They can come in there and do their thing. All they got to do is bring an SD card and they'll be done. Because there's not many spaces like that. And if we can kit it out to use it, because I do so much content as it is. I mean, I'm in my office all day and I would say 30% of my week is just producing content.
Yep.
So I'm going to set it up anyway. I might as well.
Yeah, it's good.
My mate Pat has an amazing idea. So their podcast, they're gonna keep their podcast because right now they don't even do video for their podcast, but their podcast is huge. I think they got 30,000 downloads or some shit, and they're moving to live, another, because they do one a week. So they're gonna do one a month of these, where it's a video podcast live with guests around a fireplace.
That's cool.
So they're gonna get drunk. That's the plan.
We should do that once a week on a Friday.
It's going to be called Fireside Chats or something like that. It's going to be sick. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. And they got the Rode. They're the ones that hooked me up with that or got me to get the Rodecaster Pro. The Rode stuff's the best. Have you got the new Rode mic? Are you using that yet or no?
Nah, I haven't thrown it on because I'm waiting on that boom arm and it doesn't attach to my stand. So I'd have to be holding it the whole time. There's no way to keep it stable.
Just holding a mic, old school.
Yeah, and ironically, I'm sending one out to Rode.
Yeah. Right. That'll be good. Yeah, so you guys can do your stuff.
Yeah, we might even make it an additional podcast episode if it is well received.
Yeah, I think it will be. It's like book reviews and all that kind of like sales education stuff.
Yeah, basically. So what we're going to do is we call Rode the librarian. He's really into reading and analyzing books and whatnot. So what we're going to do is I've ordered him a whole bunch of books. We're going to read them, and then either once a month or once a fortnight, we'll do content piece together. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out all of the learnings from those books and discuss how that can be utilized in a salesperson's life. Whether that's, if it's a book on sales, how can we incorporate that into our sales style, the takeaways from that, or whether it's a book on mindset, how we can utilize that to keep in the zone, to get out of a slump, just anything, habits, getting all that stuff in place. Books like that are going to have some sort of relevance to salespeople in this thing, and then just really tie it all back into sales. All those will be put into the closing code. They'll also, and if it's happy, we'll add them as podcast episodes.
Well, it's the culture of self-development, right? That's what we want to
exactly. Yeah.
One of the pillars in the YouTube video I just did was congruency and consistency. And so if your life is not congruent with what you're selling, it's not going to work. So if you're selling fitness but you're fat and don't train, like, it's really difficult. I managed, but
yeah.
But it is difficult. So if you're selling self-development, which is what most people sell, then you really kind of have to believe in it. You have to be doing it. You have to be doing something yourself to push yourself forward, to ensure that what you're doing is actually makes sense.
And just to turn up every day in the right headspace,
Turn up.
Like the volume button on the Rodecaster. All right, so speaking of that, we can sort of we've gone through projects, the state of play. Let's finish off with a bit of learning, right? So is there any books, courses, anything that you've taken over the past couple of weeks that's applicable to the listeners?
I've been listening to Jeremy Miner's 3-day event that he's doing right now. So right now it's 21st of August. So it's 21st and 22nd of August. So it would have already gone by then, by the time this airs. But I've been watching that, just watching kind of Jeremy do his thing, which is awesome, obviously. I don't think I've been reading any books lately. I've been watching a lot of Cole's content as well, which has been really cool. And then, I guess I'm so busy developing our guys. For me, the best way to develop myself is develop other people. It's kind of how I've always been. I really get deep into the weeds when I teach people, and it allows me to see insights that sound so douchey, that kind of surprise me. You're like, oh fuck yeah, okay, I see it, because I see the patterns now, and you can see where people are at and what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. And then you start to really, I had a great chat with a new sales training client, Patrick, that we signed up this week. And dude's a fucking savage. He's been in sales for longer than me, but you can tell he's really good, but he hasn't learned off the right person yet.
Hasn't had a proper mentor guide him.
Yeah.
And take that skill set.
Yeah, but nothing's been super specific. And what he needs right now is very specific training on certain things, because his objection handling was absolutely savage.
Yeah.
Savage. He told this guy, he's like, mate, you're not running a business, you're running a fucking charity. I was like, whoa! So that was after a while, man. It was after a while. Dude. He did 75 minutes of objection handling. So he was trying everything. But I applaud that, man. That pumped me up. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't the most tactful way of doing it, but it just lets you know that, man, whenever you're about to give up, there's somebody out there who won't. So get amongst it. And if you can channel that into the right way, that's how I used to be. And then when I started going down the path of the more NEPQ, Jeremy, Eli, all those dudes, kind of learning off all those guys, is when everything really started to come in line. And my objection, now I kind of do objection handling my way. I think I've got my own sort of way of doing it now, but it's on a different planet to what it used to be. I mean, I literally can't remember the last time. I have had one no in 6 months. Now, it's kind of unfair to say that, because the guys that come to me are coming to me or referred.
And they want what we have.
Yeah, but it's just a case of it's expensive. So almost all the objections I get are money. They're all logistical objections. I don't really get the other ones. Now, I one of the things that I have learned is you still need to take everyone through the sales process. Don't ever skimp on that. But even when I was selling, that's not true. Actually, I got a no for Serhnant. Well, I didn't get a no. I had them. They all put credit card down, but they just couldn't get funding, so it's a no sale.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a fucking no sale. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the guy pulled out the other day. He's like 21 years old. He's been a real estate agent for 17 days. He can't get funding, and he doesn't want to borrow from his parents. Anyway, the whole thing is totally fair enough. I was like, yeah, cool, dude. This isn't the right move. Like, let's find another time, do it in a year's time or something. But yeah, it's so rare that we get a no. And that objection handling piece, though, is so powerful when you can do it correctly, and you can actually get someone to like convince themselves that it's the right move for them. So, and that's been the biggest thing that I've sort of developed over the last, I would say, 6 to 12 months, is that real, not pushy, but real tension, and then taking people through a process where they genuinely like, oh no, I really want to do this. I just need to figure it out, and then we just help them figure it out together. So, and it might not close on the first call, but that's cool. As long as you know it's a real logistical objection, you can get a high level of commitment and then close them on the second one or the third one. Sometimes you just got to be willing to be patient. That's how you get lots of sales over the long term.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing I was going to do this week, actually, or over the weekend, is have a look at all the sales calls that I've had over the last 6 months, from anywhere from 5 to 100K, and just have a look at the actual conversion rate. Because I've got one that's closed, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those 100K deals on the table right now. And everyone has said yes. Now, we can't do 4. We can do 2. So the other ones will have to wait at least 6 weeks.
6 should be
6 to 8. They'll have to wait.
We'll see. We'll play by you.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see how they develop. Those are sort of the big ones that I'm working on right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I've got not much to prompt and talk about. Anything else?
36 minutes is enough. These sons of bitches get enough content from me. You don't need to hear me for spoken in a few minutes.
Cool.
You're all fucking bunch of vampires. No, I'm just kidding.
I could be happy to talk shit for an hour about irrelevant stuff if you guys need to fall asleep.
Comment on the podcast and say I want to hear a total shit talking. We should get drunk and do a podcast. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I'll just end up abusing you all. No.
You sons of bitches.
Why didn't you buy? That could actually be pretty fun.
Yeah. Closing code, link in the description. First week. You all missed out. It used to be $1. No, fuck you. It's now 25. You should have done it. The next time it's going to be 35. It's never going down. I can tell you that right now. It's only ever going to go up. I might even make it one day so the first week is more expensive. Right? Just to fuck with people. But we are building out a full funnel for that. So that should be fun.
We are, yeah.
We just built out the program for sales training with Marco as well.
We're also upping the podcast game. Something we forgot about.
Yeah, well, we're not upping the podcast. The Couple Guys game has officially been upped. I mean, look at me. I'm streaming this bitch in 4K. Right? I look phenomenal. You're not. We need to up your game, but that's all right. We don't want to see your face in 4K. Yeah. We took a poll and everyone said do it in 360p. So, but yeah, no, we got a shout out to Valor Media. Shout out to Valor Media, the guys watching this right now. We just upped the game with them. They're going to be running all of our snippets and content, repurposing, and like soon we're going to be having downloadables for so like today, one of our Q&A episodes, we have all those questions and answers put into a little downloadable for you, so you can have that as like a nice paper that you can print out. Some of the episodes we've done on objection handling, so get your objection handling guides, so that kind of stuff, so you guys can get onto an email list so that I can sell you shit over email. That's the cunning play there. We don't exactly need to bury the lead. I don't think anybody knows that's not why we do it.
I wouldn't stress too much. We don't really have anything to sell. We might sell you some coffee mugs that say coffee is for closest on them. How about that? Won't send you broke.
I might start selling these signs. Everyone asks me about them. I should get a commission. I should get an affiliate link. I might reach out to them actually. But yeah, so that's some stuff to look forward to come. So we're going to have a real strong email list and just redoing the website. If you want to have a look at the garbage website we have now, it's salessniper.net. It's not going to be as garbage. It might not even be garbage by the time this comes out. So that's the plan. So disregard that. But yeah, have a rad email list with heaps of downloadables, some of the snippets put into there just so you can like sort of belt feed the content. We're going to pixel you, put you into a retargeting campaign. You're just going to see my face and nothing but my face for years and years and years until you buy something. So just do it now and save yourself the hassle. That's what I say.
Get yourself a coffee mug.
Exactly.
I'll get on it.
Right.
I'll get some made.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. If you're still listening up to this point, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
Yeah, go do something valuable.
Do something, whatever. All right, guys. Once again, thank you very much for listening. Really appreciate your time. If you like it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, go onto YouTube, shout it from the fucking rooftops how much you like about this, but be specific. And if you don't like it, once again, I really don't care, but I wish you all the best. All right, goodbye.
Bye.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.